say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets spread glare, the bombs bursting in air gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave.
All right, race fans, welcome to Evolution Racing Network's coverage of the DeltaCam.com presents Thursday Night Throwdown and Truck Series here live from Daytona International Speedway. We just had the ARCA race here, an exciting finish there. Kevin Winker was able to bring home the victory here. Now we go to the trucks here for 60 laps here from Daytona, Craig. I'm all excited here.
After an amazing ARCA race, Sheffield, I'm super excited as well as we're here at Daytona International Speedway, the 2.5 mile-long super speedway. These trucks tonight are going to go 60 laps. A scheduled pit stop is in the mix. Drafting is going to be a huge part, as we've seen in the ARCA series right now. We see 3 trucks in line right now working together, Sheffield. It's going to be huge to find a teammate early and when to make the move. It's going to be fun.
Yeah, as we saw in the ARCA race, you saw the big one about halfway through there. Took a lot of cars, a couple cars out of contention there. Then we had another late caution, really made it to like a 2-lap shootout there at the end. As always, great racing, but as you brought up, this is going to be key here tonight is, you know, the teammates. You're going to have that drafting help, or, you know, find somebody to work with all night long. Is, you saw outside lane, especially in the ARCA series, was highly prominent there, you know, with a couple cars up top.
Yeah, it's just when they get uniformed up, well, nose to tail, you know, no big gaps. They can really get that run on corner exits. So that's going to be exciting to watch. But the fastest way around the track is the bottom side, Sheffield. So a lot of guys like to prefer the bottom. So it's who's going to go on the outside. It's going to be really fun. I'm expecting a super exciting race as practice coming down to an end as we're going to get qualifying rolling off.
Yeah, we'll wait to get qualifying started here. You know, it looks like we're going to have about 17 trucks in the field here tonight. We're waiting to see who the first one is going to roll off of pit lane in the qualifying attempt. And I wonder if we see the same thing we saw in the ARCA series. A couple guys electing not to qualify. So we'll have to see how these go. It looks like TJ DeBlasi is out on track, coming out on track now. Saw him very strong tonight in the ARCA cars here. Got involved in a late race caution there, had some damage in the car, but still was able to get up there and start pushing and charge his way up to third.
Yeah, good finish for TJ DeBlasi. I know he was looking for the checkered flag, but you know, you can't win them all, Sheffield. And another point I want to bring up is the bump draft here. These cars are going to suck up to each other a lot more than we saw in the ARCA series, so we have to watch out for the temperatures in the car, the oil pressure and the water temperatures, as you'll see these cars try to dive down low, maybe a little bit or up high to cool down the motors. Right now we see TJ DeBlasi rolling the high lane. That's going to be your preferred line around for your first 2 laps here at Daytona.
Yeah, it looks like we've got about 8 or 9 trucks now out during qualifying. We'll try to cycle through those. As you know, TJ was the first one on the track here, so he should be the first one to complete the first lap, and then the second lap here. I'm sure pretty much everybody's going to be running this high lane, getting as much speed and momentum as they can on the first lap. Then you'll start seeing them work that bottom lane on the second lap, and nothing short of the ARCA here. The ARCA series, we expect those times for pole are going to be really tight here. And we talk about Daytona, it takes a little bit longer to get around here. So if you don't come out on track in about 2.5 minutes of qualifying, you're not going to quite get it done, I don't think, Craig.
Absolutely not. Now we see TJ DeBlasi go down to that yellow line. His first lap was a 53.06, but this one's about to be about a 1.5 quicker. He's down on the bottom now, really rolling through 1 and 2, and you got to be careful, Sheffield. You don't want any movement in your wheel whatsoever, just the slightest motions as he's making his way out turn number 2, coming down the back straightaway.
And that's one of the tricky things about this track here is you can get it on the bottom line upon the entry of 1 and 2 and 3 and 4, but it's when you're coming off the corner, it's kind of the truck teams tends to kind of push out a little bit, and you've got to kind of leave the wheel where it is and hopefully stay as close to that yellow line as you can, because that truck has a tendency to push out, but you don't want to put too much wheel into it to keep it on the bottom. You want to let it just roll back around as he's going to come across with his qualifying lap. See where this is going to set him as far as time. 52.14. Let's go take a look now at Curtis Rogers, who's on his second lap. See how he does as Dane Cruz just crosses the line for P2 with a 52.20. Curtis Rogers at a 52.22. To see here how this is going to cycle. Looks like Rogers might be done here. Let's go back to let's see if we can catch somebody coming out now. Gabriel Ellison just jumped to the top now with a 52.09. So you're looking, a lot less than a tenth there between first and second. See if we can catch anybody out. Looks like Newbigging coming through second lap, 52.14. That moves him to P2. Looks like that he is the last one on the track as we sit right now. 9 trucks have taken qualifying attempts here. That leaves about 7 or 8 that did not attempt to qualify here. So as we talked about, we expected probably this strategy, Craig, because you're gonna have some guys that want to ride to the back.
Sheffield, it's a discussion that you talk with your team prior to the race, maybe a couple days before the race, or even the half an hour you get into the practice session. What do you guys want to do? You want to be up front? You want to go to the back? Because you don't really want to be in the middle. If you're in the middle, I like to think you're either trying to go to the front or you're trying to go to the back. You're in the early stages of the race. So with half the field not electing to qualify, that really throws a wrench into the plans of people not trying to qualify. And if you're in the middle, if you are in 10th, 11th, and 12th, and you want to go to the back, we'll see a lot of trucks dip down below the yellow line, let the field go by. I'm excited to see what happens, the strategy plays off, because we know, Sheffield, no quick fixes here for the Delta Camp Thursday Night Throwdown, and the big one is bound to happen.
Yeah, as you said that, we're completed qualifying here. We're going to take a quick commercial break on Evolution Racing Network. We'll be right back with your starting grid and the green flag here from Daytona International Speedway.
To build a new website or redesign your existing site, you have 2 options. You can start by learning HTML, CSS, JavaScript, SEO, SQL, CMS, well, you get the idea. Or you can be smarter and look for someone who is a professional in web design like Sneed Competition Design. We are experienced in building quality websites for our clients. We always start with strategy and planning to build a clear vision about what you need. Your website will then be passed on to the design and development phase, where we will ensure that you get a fully responsive design that is easy to use regardless of any device using the latest tools in web development. Contact us today, and let's talk about accelerating your business to the next level by creating a complete online solution.
All right, race fans, welcome back to Daytona International Speedway. We're waiting for the trucks to grid here. We're going to take a look at your starting grid for tonight's race here. 60 laps at Daytona. The DeltaCam.com presents Thursday Night Throwdown Truck Series. Your pole winner here tonight, Gabriel Ellison, with a 52.093. To his outside is going to be the number 98 of Douglas Newbigging. Starting third will be TJ DeBlasi in the number 78 machine. Starting fourth is Curtis Rogers in the number 9. Starting fifth is Dane Cruz in the 46. Starting sixth will be Matthew Greathouse in the number 54. Starting seventh, Cody Dorsey in the number 84 machine. Starting eighth is the 88 of Torrey Thompson. Starting ninth will be Landon Condra in the 08 machine.
Roll 10th and number 49, Toyota Tundra. That's Clinton Sneed. Starting 11th and number 20 is Brandon Zimmerman. Starting 12th and number 29 is Michael Garone. Rolling off 13th and number 94, Robert Colligan. Starting 14th and number 55, Toyota Tundra is Mitch Ellison. Starting 14th and number 2, Toyota Tundra, Forrest Bolin. Starting 15th and number 97 is Rodney Griffin. Starting 16th and number 79 is Donnie Lyons. And that is your field. Sheffield pace cars rolling here tonight at Daytona. It's going to get racy. They're going to be side by side. High banks at Daytona. I'm excited. Are you excited?
I'm very excited here for the truck series. You know, one of my favorite vehicles in the service, as sure people know, they've heard me talk about it a million times here. Between the ARCA cars and the trucks, always great racing here, as you mentioned earlier. You might see a little bit more bump draft here with the trucks as the front and the rear of the trucks line up a little bit better here. There is 60 laps here. Looking at about a 30-lap pit window, maybe 31 laps here, so you should see these guys pit. Maybe green flag stops here tonight, Craig, might play a huge factor in tonight's race.
That is the race within the race. If a green flag pit stop comes into play, you really have to execute it. Really want to call out your pit a lap before to try to get as many takers as you can to come with you, because you want a friend or two when you're coming down pit road for the drafting help on the backside. If you come alone, if you're a lone duck, Sheffield, you're SOL. I like to say, with no draft, the field will blow right by you in a hurry.
Yeah, and that's where you're really going to see teams and teammates come into play here. Especially, you know, you're going to have to get together and decide on when you're coming. I expect probably they're going to try to go at least, you know, if they can get 31. I think it was 31.6, 32 laps. Maybe stay out as long as you can. Here, as you see the pace truck falling off, Gabriel Ellison's going to lead him to the green flag here from Daytona.
Green flag in there for the Delta Cam Thursday night throwdown. Gabriel Ellison out in front with TJ DeBlasi pushing. On the outside, we had Douglas Newbigging. He's falling back just about 2 car lengths back from the leaders. They're still side by side coming to turn number 1.
Side by side going to number 1, Gabriel Ellison out to your lead, getting a great push by TJ DeBlasi. Saw a couple trucks shuffle there right after the start. These guys are probably trying to get in line, trying to get with their teammates here if they get mixed up a little bit in qualifying. Outside lane right now, though, with a huge push there. The 46 Dane Cruz pushed Douglas Newbigging out to the lead there. But as you see, that bottom line has the momentum going into the corner here. Wonder how much side draft's going to take into play here. But as they come to the line, Douglas Newbigging is going to be your leader here on lap number 1 with Gabriel Ellison to his inside.
2 by 2, 5 rows back. Douglas Newbigging taking the lead now with a great push by Dane Cruz. Dane Cruz not going to be able to clear Gabriel Ellison yet. And Douglas Newbigging realized that, still stays on the high side. That leaves the door open for Gabriel Ellison and TJ DeBlasi on the bottom. They're still side by side coming down the back straightaway.
That's always one of the toughest debates when you're getting a push, especially if it's a teammate. You kind of want to hang up there, try to pull them back by the leader, but if that line falls off, you might lose your shot to take the inside and take the lead here. As you see, Ellison's able to get back by him here. Great push by the 78, but, you know, we talked about in the ARCA series, see a little bit of gap behind that 78 machine. You're going to see that outside lane gain a little bit of momentum here until they close that gap there on the inside. You'll notice all night long, inside lane's going to have the preferred line during the corners. Outside lane gets that charge coming down the straightaways.
Still side by side, 5 rows deep right now. It's Gabriel Ellison, Douglas Newbigging really duking it out. Newbigging has Dane Cruz right behind him, and TJ DeBlasi's right behind Gabriel Ellison as they coming out of turn number 2 down the back straightaway. All clean so far. Lap 3 out 60.
Yeah, you see on the screen there, too wide, pretty much the field there. As you see the 98 of Newbegin comes down, allows Dane Cruz to push up. Looks like Ellison gets a little bit out of line. I don't know if he was afraid he's going to touch there. He's going to lose a couple of positions here. He's able to keep it down on the apron. Hopefully he doesn't lose that draft there, and he's able to work his way back up. We'll have to keep an eye on that situation. But out front, Dane Cruz is now your leader. Matthew Greathouse in the 54 machine now second. Then they're side by side from third back.
Sheffield, big moment for Gabriel Ellison. He made that look easy though, getting down the apron, going 180 miles an hour, not coming back up in the track. Good move by Gabriel Ellison right now, but he's falling back. He's lost the draft. It's looking like.
Yeah, you just saw another big moment there for looked like Douglas Newbing in that 98. Getting down off the track just a little bit. Looks like he brought possibly de Blasi with him here. They're able to get it back up on track there, and they're able to keep up pretty much, maybe be able to attach to the top to this front draft here. But now they're single file up front, with the exception of the 94 machine who just jumped to the outside. That's Robert Colgan. We saw him working that third lane really hard there in the ARCA series here. He's going to get a little help now on the outside, and I'm trying to see who that is there with the push crack.
It's Brandon Zimmerman, the number 20, helping the number 94, Robert Colgan. It's like you said, we've seen Robert Colgan prefer the outside line all ARCA race. He's doing a good job as they're coming down the back straightaway. Dane Cruz still the man out front with the number 54, Matthew Greathouse, with a good push, but the outside line is starting to form up.
Yeah, outside line with a huge run right now as you see that number 94 machine, Robert Colgan, getting a great push by Brandon Zimmerman. You see 78 TJ de Blasi come in the picture on the outside lane here. It's 4 inside, 4 outside racing for the front right now. As they come to the start-finish line, Dane Cruz will be your leader this time by starting lap number 7 here, but the 94 getting a huge run on the outside with a great push by Brandon Zimmerman.
Good push by the number 20 right now. They're still side by side though for the lead. They're actually 2 by 2 right now, 4 rows deep. Sheffield, it's getting racing. It's kind of looking like the ARCA race right now. Still 6 laps in out 60. A lot of racing left with a pit stop, as now we're seeing a little pack form up off draft.
Yeah, it looks like we've got about 10 trucks up here in this front pack. Then you head out back about 4 seconds back. You've got another pack now being led by Michael Garone here. They're going to try to run down the leaders here. You got the 2 machine on the outside there, Forrest Bull, and these guys get single file. They should be able to run down a little bit of time there on that top 10 pack if they're running side by side.
In Sheffield, that is not strange to have 2 packs when we come here at Daytona. It's kind of like a safe pack, I like to say, and then an eye of the storm, the hurricane up front. They're just going to try single file it out, make sure that they don't get caught in the big one until it's crunch time, ready to go racing. Right now, we're still 7 in Sheffield. They're side by side duking it out up front.
Yeah, Robert Colgan now with a huge push by Brandon Zimmerman is going to push him out to the lead, see if he comes to the bottom. He's about running the middle. Looks like he's going to stick with Brandon Zimmerman there on the outside. Elects not to come down. It's going to give Dane Cruz a huge push here on the inside. Dane Cruz right now getting a huge push by that 54 machine of Matthew Greathouse. So battling side by side up front, back and forth for this lead here between Dane Cruz and Robert Colgan here. And so far, they're letting it come into lap number 9. Nothing but side by side racing here to go so far. And we expect to see that all night long. See a little bit of movement there on the 88 machine going in the corner there. Everybody does a great job keeping it together, as you know we've come to see here in this series.
The outside leg got a little scared with Torrey Thompson getting a little bit loose there. It happens. It's racing. They're still single file, still safe right now. All chasing down Dane Cruz. And the number 46 Toyota Tundra here at Daytona coming to lap number 9. Sheffield, a lot of racing left to do. This one is going to turn into a fun one.
Yeah, you see now a lot of trucks are running more of that single file line here. Now you see a couple trucks, TJ de Blasi taking it 3 wide there. Looks like the 08 machine of Landon Condra looked to the middle there and then went back low here. That's going to put the 54 machine of Matthew Greathouse on the charge on the outside, getting a huge push by TJ de Blasi. We saw him on the bottom lane early, giving the leader, Mitch Ellison, a push earlier So we're going to have to see how this plays out, as it looks like Great House is going to be scored in the lead here as they're drag racing down the backstretch, heading to turn 3 and 4 here for the completion of lap number 9, going to lap number 10 here at Daytona.
TJ DeBlasi gave a great push to the number 54 Matthew Grayhouse, and I think TJ DeBlasi wants to get the job done this time, as he was so close in the ARCA series. Right now he's sitting second, pushing Matthew Grayhouse. Sheffield, they're coming to the line 10 out of 60 here at Daytona International Speedway.
Yeah, we saw him earlier in the ARCA series, sitting in that second position, pushing the leader, really utilizing, seeing that outside lane run coming, utilizing the ability to slide up at the right time, get that huge push from that outside lane, allowing that lead truck to get sucked back to the truck behind him, open that gap up a little bit, and use that huge advantage off that outside lane to take the lead away here. But it looks like he's going to be content right now, riding behind Matthew Greathouse in the number 54 machine, as we're coming by lap number 10. Will be in the books here shortly.
The front pack looks like they're settling down just a little bit. Single file 1 through 8, pretty much the whole pack, and then that's where you find the number 84 of Cody Dorsey trying to get a taker of the 94 Robert Colgan, trying to make the outside lane for him here as they come into turn number 1. Sheffield, still a lot of racing left. TJ DeBlasi looking good, but don't count out the guys in the back. The Gabriel Ellisons, Forrest Bowen, Rodney Griffin, they're still out there hoping for a caution. You never want to see a caution, but that's what they're doing right now, just maintaining, being safe, and trying to catch these guys down.
Yeah, as you see here, you can tell at the front 3 here are all teammates here. Looks like we got the 55 of Mitch Ellison, looks like Gabriel Ellison, and the 2 of Forrest Bullen all run the sneak competition designs here on the hood. So, these guys are going to work together really well here. Then you go a little bit further back here. I'm trying to catch these packs as they roll through. There's your lead pack, and then that pack we just talked about with Mitch Ellison is about 6 seconds behind right now. But a pack of 5 trucks that they pit together, that strategy come into play, especially, as we talked about, is we got a wreck up front here. We have to go back and try to see what happens. We see some trucks still spinning there. We got a caution now at Daytona International Speedway. We're going to have to go back there and see what happened to bring out this first caution here.
Sheffield, looks like it was Douglas Newbing and Troy Thompson. Those machines look heavily damaged right now. We didn't really catch a glimpse of that, as we're going to go back and look at it. So we see the number 88, Troy Thompson, getting sideways, another machine.
Let's see if we can catch further back here. Here they come now off of 2. Looks like the 88 just gets maybe a little push from behind, gets him a little bit sideways, hits that outside wall, and that just causes a chain effect here. Quite a few drivers, a couple drivers did a great job being able to work their way through it. As you still see the 88 there spinning on the track back there. It's going to bring out your first caution here from Daytona, but looks like we're going to have a damage on 2 trucks there. The rest of the pack looks like they were able to get through pretty good there, Craig.
Yeah, tough break for Douglas Newbing as he got just clipped. Wrong place, wrong time. It's tough, Sheffield, but it's racing at Daytona. It's a crapshoot. Let's throw the dice out on the table and hope we hit. As right now the pace car is coming around 3 and 4, as we will see who's going to come down pit road and see if the window is even open.
I'm taking a look now at that 88 machine of Torrey Thompson. You saw him kind of bounce off that outside wall. Not a huge amount of damage there that I can see on the front. You're going to have some aero damage there. See some damage there on the right front. I'm trying to see who else was possibly involved. It looks like it might have been Curtis Rogers, who's down on pit road right now with that number 9 machine. Tough break there. Just wrong place, wrong time. And, we talked about it earlier in the ARCA series. Maybe just a little off-center push. Sometimes a push just a little too hard. You'll see that truck kind of wiggle in front. So looks like we're going to have a majority of the machines down on pit road here, Craig.
Sheffield, pit road is a happening place here for the Delta Cam Thursday night throwdown. It's a drag race coming off pit road. We're going to try to catch that one. Sheffield, everyone elected to pit that time by.
Yeah, here we are, at 13 laps into the race here. 31 lap fuel window. They do have 2 sets here tonight, so they're gonna have to pit at least one more time here. Go ahead and come in and top off with fuel. That's gonna cycle Brandon Zimmerman, who elected to stay out there, to your lead. That's gonna DJ DeBlasi will be the winner off pit road. In second place, third will be Dane Cruz. Fourth will be Matthew Greathouse. Right in the top 5 will be Landon Condon in the 08 machine.
Brandon Zimmerman elected to stay out. He's probably thinking that there might be another caution, Sheffield. It's not a bad game to play here at Daytona. It's not when, it's if. Or I'm sorry, it's not if, it's when. So at 20, he's saying, hey, I want the clean air. I want to be up front. I want to avoid everything. Like I said earlier in the top of the show, we both mentioned it. You either want to be up in the front or in the back. So we'll have to see what happens this time by Sheffield, as the pace car right now is coming through the trial.
We talked about the pack that was running, 6 seconds behind. This caution's going to bring them right back up in the mix now. As they're looking, we talked about Gabriel Ellison was in that pack. Mitch Ellison was in that pack. The 2 machine of Forrest Bullen now coming down pit road here. So that 6-second gap didn't hurt them. Kept them out of danger there. Kept them out of that front pack when that spinning was going on. So that may have paid off really well for them. It's hard to say, as they weren't exactly up there, but that would have been more trucks trying to fight their way through that truck spinning there in the middle of the track.
As the pace car went through the trial, we did have Brandon Zimmerman, the number 20, dip down on the pit road. So your race leader now is TJ DeBlasi with Dane Cruz in second, Matthew Grayhouse in third, Gabriel Ellison sitting in fourth. Fifth is Robert Colgan. Sixth, Cody Dorsey, Sheffield. As we're re-racking them, pace lights are out. We're about to go green.
Getting ready to go green here. As we mentioned, you just saw the majority of the field take a pit stop. Early caution. Looked like it only affected 2 trucks there, Craig. And we talked about, you saw that pack behind a little bit earlier. I expect them to possibly do the same thing here. Maybe run a little bit further back. As we're now working our way through 3 and 4. The pace truck should be coming off the track here. The exit of 3 and 4 will be back underway from Daytona International Speedway.
The iRacing.com pace truck is coming out turn number 4. It's looking to make its way down pit road, as TJ DeBlasi and Dane Cruz will lead the freight train in turn number 1 here at Daytona, Sheffield. It's going to get fun. They're going to be side-by-side battling for a race win here, but still a lot of racing left.
Still quite a few laps here as you saw the pace truck off. TJ DeBlasi with a huge jump here. He's going to pull Matthew Greathouse along with him. Day 46 machine of Dane Cruz going to be the first truck on the outside. He's going to be outside the 3rd place truck right now. Robert Colgan there. Bottom lane with a great jump here on this restart. Let's see if these guys stick to the high side or they're going to work back down. It looks like Dane Cruz and Gabriel Ellison will come back down to the bottom line. Looks like the top 8 or 9 trucks all single file, couple peeking outside. Looks like the first taker is going to be that 46 machine of Dane Cruz, bringing Gabriel Ellison in tow.
Dane Cruz electing to go on the outside with Gabriel Ellison. That's a smart bet to take. I'll have Gabriel Ellison behind me all day long, pushing me, as we saw the 27 being a great pusher coming down in the trial right now. But TJ DeBlasi still out front. Dane Cruz in the number 46, getting a great push by the number 27. 3 trucks on the high side trying to make it work here at Daytona.
Yeah, you got 3 on the outside and about 8 or 9 on the inside, and that shows you just the momentum that outside run is able to get with just 3 trucks compared to 8 on the inside here. It's still early, but I expect that outside line quite possibly to form up later on in the running, as that fuel window has now reset. So these guys should be good till about lap number 48, maybe 49 here. Granted, we stay green here at Daytona International Speedway. A good battle up here, up at the front now between Dane Cruz and TJ DeBlasi for that leader position.
Duking it out here at Daytona, coming to the trial right now. Dane Cruz still getting that push by Gabriel Ellison. Gabriel Ellison behind him has the 84 Cody Dorsey, and then following behind them in the number 29 Ally machine, that's where you find Michael Garone. So that's your top side truck trucks right now as they're still battling out coming out of turn number 2.
It's coming out of turn 2. 88 machine looks like he might be going to the high side as well here. He was involved that earlier caution there. Had a couple bounces there off the wall there for Torrey Thompson. But, you know, we talked about in the ARCA series, got a little front damage. You may not be able to run out front of the pack and be very fast, but if you can close up and get in that draft, you still can push those trucks in front of you.
Absolutely. It's really hard to be a leader with aero damage here at Daytona. It just feels like you have an anchor on the back of your truck. Right now, though, the 46 of Dan Cruz still out front. We saw him leave Gabriel Ellison out to dry just a little bit. Gabriel Ellison will remember that, keep that in his back pocket for later on the run. But right now, Dan Cruz still out in front as they're coming up on the lap car, number 20 of Brandon Zimmerman.
Brandon Zimmerman will like to just bring it down off the track, let this pack go by here. Huge difference in mile an hour. Great judgment there to get it up out of the way. Shows the respect these guys have in the lead as you see the 46 machine of Dane Cruz on the bottom. Now it takes the lead. TJ DeBlasi follows in suit now. So you got Dane Cruz now scored as your leader. TJ DeBlasi running in second. Both on the bottom lane here. It looks like it's going to leave Gabriel Ellison in the outside lane. It's going to be your first truck on the outside lane. And looks like he's going to have the 84 machine of Cody Dorsey pushing him here. As it looks like we got 5 on the inside and 4 on the outside here. See if this outside lane tightens up and gets another push towards the front.
Gabriel Ellison, first car on the outside, getting a heck of a push by Cody Dorsey right now as they're side by side drafting down the back straightaway. Sheffield trying to slow down Dane Cruz in the lead as we see TJ DeBlasi might have a little hit the apron, gets loose as Dane Cruz is going to lose this partner, and maybe this is the opportunity Gabriel Ellison's been looking for as they come to the trial bowl.
As they come to the trial, you see that huge gap there between the 46 and 78. Ellison's going to try to take advantage of it here with a huge push there by Cody Dorsey. He's able to get the lead there. It does not carry down there. He's trying to pull Dorsey by with him as he's still going to be leading the outside. But here comes Dane Cruz with a huge push there on the inside lane. Did you see his momentum switch back and forth all night long here? See a couple trucks changing lane from the outside to the inside and back to the outside. Any gap you can see that you're going to gain your position here, you got to take it now, or if you wait too late, it's going to close up on you really quick.
Absolutely, Sheffield. You have to fill the voids in the draft, and you have to do it with caution, too. You can't clear yourself on someone. That's why it's so fun when we come super speedway racing right now. Right now, it's looking like the top 7 trucks are single file. Your first car on the outside is the number 29 of Michael Garone, as he's back there with little to no help as the freight train is rolling in turn number 1.
Yeah, you saw the 46 to 78 and Matthew Greathouse in the 54. Able to clear Ellison there in the last corner. Get a huge push there. Ellison comes back down to the outside, to the inside, gets back in line. Looks like the single file still see some dancing around. You see that 88 machine with a little bit of damage there on the outside. Had one truck just pull up in front of him here. Trying to tell exactly who that is. The first truck on the outside there.
The number 94, Robert Colgan, and I would put all my money that I have on the house that once the 94 and Torrey Thompson get up to the 54 machine of Matthew Grayhouse, that Grayhouse will come out as those teammates will work together here at Daytona.
See Landon Condor there, a little bit of a moment there in the trioval, gets down off the apron there, able to get it back up, doesn't lose any momentum here as you see the 29 machine now working to his outside. That's Michael Groen going to join that pack there on the outside. Try to get that momentum there on the outside as you saw the 78 of DeBlasi. So we saw earlier in the ARCA series, sees that run coming, takes advantage of it, tries to gain that momentum here. He's trying to get a push out front. He's getting a great push by Robert Colgan. 46 machine of Dane Cruz fighting back on the inside, but looks like the 78 is going to clear him here. Coming through 3 and 4, see if he moves down here. Wow, door-to-door racing here in Daytona.
TJ DeBlasi didn't decide to go down to the inside line in front of Dane Cruz. He's still outside with the number 94, Robert Colgan. Maybe he's trying to pull him along. Colgan goes down. TJ DeBlasi goes down. Now they leave Torrey Thompson outside, but your new race leader here at Daytona, that's TJ DeBlasi.
Yeah, and that's always a tough decision you have to make when you're charging on the outside. You want to go down and cover that bottom lane, but you don't want to leave your drafting partner up there. You may need him later, or you may be able to help him later. So you got to kind of stick together, take the good with the good and the bad with the bad here at Daytona. But that attempt worked out for TJ DeBlasi and Robert Colgan as they were able to pull by Dane Cruz, slide down the bottom line. Looks like the first 7 or 8 cars single file. First machine on the outside right now is the 08 of the 88 machine there of Torrey Thompson as he's falling back. Now you're starting to see a little peak there on the outside by Dane Cruz. He's going to bring Gabriel Ellison with him. As you see these guys just battling back and forth here, the lead just flip-flopping, these guys going outside, inside, outside, inside, just leapfrogging back and forth here tonight.
Run after run, haymaker after haymaker right now. Dane Cruz saw what TJ DeBlasi did to him, and Dane Cruz decided to close the door. Gabriel Ellison. Now Gabriel Ellison pushing Dane Cruz, trying to get him to the lead. All chasing down TJ DeBlasi, but they're side by side. It's 4 rows back now as Dane Cruz, your new race leader here at Daytona.
Yeah, you see the 94 machine of Colgan get a little drop down there on the apron, does a great job of getting it back up. That's the thing with these trucks, just a little bit too much wheel in the corner there. You get maybe a little arrow push from the outside, but as you just see, Dane Cruz uses that same move that TJ DeBlasi did with Gabriel Ellison, able to pull by. They come back down to the inside, so Dane Cruz back out front. Gabriel Ellison back up to second place as they run right now. Still got an outside charge there, and that is going to be the 84 machine of Cody Dorsey leading that.
Cody Dorsey still looking for help from the number 08 of Landon Condra as Condra just elects to go on the inside now and get drafted. And Sheffield, we got to remember, when you're on the back end of a tailgate of one of these trucks, your truck is going to be heating up, and that might be a cause of what we're seeing. When you're riding in a draft so long, your your gauges start going red. You have to be very wary about that, because if it's running too hot, you'll blow in an instant.
Yeah, you bring up a good point there. You know, you can still be drafting, giving a good, 3 or 4 feet off the truck in front of you, get a little bit of air, keep your machine cool enough. But when you really close that gap, you're only going to be able to push for maybe a lap on the bumper, and then your machine is going to be borderline. You definitely don't want to blow it up here, because you're going to be out, and that may cause a caution, because you're going to lose. You're going to just see that truck just almost like a parachute, and everybody's going to be trying to check up. But these guys are doing a great job here tonight. You see the truck's getting a little loose, but no surprise here. These guys are able to keep everything under control here. As you see the line here on the bottom. Looks like it's got the momentum right now, as we talked about earlier. First guy on the outside is Cody Dorsey, and as I say that, TJ DeBlasi makes a move to the outside. Looks like he's going to bring the 94 machine of Robert Colgan here. So the same thing we saw about 5 or 6 laps ago. Same to the outside, the challenge back to the same 2 to the inside once again as we're playing leapfrog here in Daytona.
Down the back straightaway, 2 by 2, 4 rows back right now is TJ DeBlasi getting a good push from Robert Colgan. We've seen that a lot. A lot of times the second place or third place truck jumps out in front of the run to get back up in the lead. Great driving by these guys for the Delta Cam Thursday night throwdown, as we saw the 8 car just get a little loose in the corner, and that's what happens here on the longer runs. The tires just, the turns, it gets loose, Sheffield, so we're going to have to watch out for that. But they're coming down lap 29 out of 60.
Yeah, they're still neck and neck up here for the front. These 4 have been battling really hard up here for the lead, kind of seesawing back and forth here. You bring up the tires, get a little looser. Yeah, it's going to feel a little looser, but you're not burning up a lot of tire here at Daytona. But the arrow here, with truck wiggling around in front of you, really has an effect on the truck behind it. As you see the 94 machine of Colgan doing a great job staying attached to the bumper of TJ DeBlasi. Got to get that push when you can. As you mentioned, those temperatures will start to heat up. But as they run right now, the 46 Dane Cruz with the momentum on the high side is your leader here. As they're going to come by to start the halfway point here, lap number 30 out of 60. These guys have already pitted here during the last caution. So looking at about lap 47, 48 is about as far as they'll be able to go here, Craig.
Absolutely, Sheffield. And you brought up another great point. I like to tell people in my Discord when we come to the super speedways to not really focus about the tailgate in front of you. If you're on the inside line, focus on the yellow line, because if that car in front of you makes a little wobble, you're going to drive with them, and you'll wobble too. So you want to keep the car as straight as possible, little movement, make it smooth for a line to really uniform up and get the draft pushing right now. As they're all doing a great job, Sheffield, right now, as they're still side by side for the lead. They're 2x2, 4 rows deep.
Yeah, and these guys, spotters and crew chiefs, are really earning their money there tonight. And, you know, you talk about that yellow line. The closer you are to that tailgate, to the truck in front of you, the harder it is to see that yellow line. And it's a challenge just to keep up with it. And as you also mentioned, one truck moves to that yellow line, the one behind is going to move, the one behind is going to move, the one behind is going to move. So it becomes a huge seesaw effect. You can see it waving down, you know, the front straightaway, the back straightaway. As one gets a little lower, the other one's going to follow it. And the thing that's really difficult about that is if the truck in front of you moves down just a little bit enough, you'll get pulled up right beside his right rear if you're on the inside before you realize it, and next thing you know, you're turning the truck in front of you. So it takes a lot of skill and it takes a lot of focus to run these trucks around these super speedways here as close as they do and as long as they do. But they show us week after week here, and DeltaCam.com presents Thursday Night Throwdown, both the ARCA and the Truck Series. These guys have the talent, they have the skill to do this week after week.
It's a rush hour jam at 185 miles an hour here at Daytona International Speedway. Door to door, wheel to wheel, coming out turn number 2. They're still side by side. TJ Blasky still holding strong on the outside with the number 94, Robert Colgan. And then on the inside, you find Dan Cruz with Gabriel Ellison pushing him, as we have a 4 car on the top, and that would be the 84 of Dorsey and the 29, Michael Garoon. So they're making it happen here, Sheffield, just past halfway. Still a lot of racing left.
Yeah, as we saw in the ARCA series, and you see it as well here, Colgan prefers that outside lane, treated him pretty well there for quite a bit of time there in the ARCA series. But right now, Dane Cruz is scored as your leader here. Gabriel Ellison second with that 78 machine of TJ DeBlasi with that push by Robert Colgan. Now working about halfway up the second place truck of Gabriel Ellison here. Should see the momentum shift down the back straightaway. Outside lane should get a run here, even though they have less trucks. You see a little movement there out of TJ DeBlasi. Out of the 46 of Dane Cruz. Probably trying to get a little air to the front end of Gabriel Ellison. He might be getting a little overheat.
Absolutely, Sheffield. And it's crucial to give the car behind you maybe a half a lane on the bottom in the turns to grab that air, or they slide up just lower. We see a big moment there out of the 88 of Torrey Thompson and the green machine back there, about 4 back on the inside as he saved the truck. No harm, no foul here, Sheffield, as we're 34 down out of 60.
And as we talked about earlier, we're not seeing that huge gap in the packs here that we saw earlier. This little group here being led by Forrest Bullen still hanging on to the draft here, but these guys maintaining enough space that if something happens, they should be clear. As you know, they're going to tighten up and spread back out here with this huge draft. You want to be able to maintain the draft, but you want to stay just enough out of harm's way in case something happens up front.
Absolutely, and that's a lot tougher, or that's a lot easier said than done to maintain, to keep up with that draft, because you don't want to be too close and you don't want to be too far. As we now see green flag pit stops happen, TJ DeBlasi dipping down. He's going to bring 3 trucks with him.
Yeah, it looks like TJ DeBlasi, Matthew Greathouse, and Robert Colgan. These 3 have worked together pretty much the last couple of laps here. They're going to pit together here, so we'll have to see how this cycles around for them. That's going to give them enough fuel here to make it to the end. See if anybody follows suit here out of this lead pack here this time around.
A big gamble, Sheffield, as they're wrecking down the back straightaway.
Got contact there, still staying green as they run right now. We'll have to go back here if we can in just a second and take a look to see what happened there. It looked like a little change in lane there, and maybe wasn't clear by the time the spotter got it out of his mouth. The gap closed up. Let's see if we get any takers this time by. No, this pack is going to stick together here.
The drivers here for the Delta Camp Thursday Night Throwdown showed it right there. Wow, what a crazy save that was. I saw 3 or 4 trucks sideways down the back straightaway, Sheffield. Is now we have 1 machine coming down pit road. and that looks like it is Cody Dorsey in the number 84.
Yeah, it looks like the 84 is going to be the only single taker. You see a little bit of damage there on that machine. Let's go back and take a look at that group that just pitted here. Matthew Greathouse is going to lead them off of pit road here. Got TJ DeBlasi and Robert Colgan. So these three trucks on the same cycle here, same pit strategy. See how much longer these guys out front stay out here. As you know, they're going to be able to close some time down on those three. If these 8 or 9 trucks maintain a single line here tight, they're going to be able to close the gap down on those trucks that just pitted here. So, you know, if caution comes out, it's going to shake things up here at Daytona.
It usually does, Sheffield. Right now, though, Gabriel Olsen and Dan Cruz still out front. They're single fouled. The storm has settled for now down the back straightaways. I would like to think, Sheffield, that they're talking about pit strategies. They know that they have 3 trucks that already pitted. They're I guess you'd say that the 3 trucks that came down pit road are losing time to these 8 trucks in a draft. So we'll see how everything shakes up here. We got about 24 laps to go.
Yeah, that pack of 3 trucks here, Matthew Greathouse, TJ DeBlasi, and Robert Colgan, are about 9 seconds roughly ahead of your leaders. And to give you a comparison here, actually last time by, Matthew Greathouse, TJ DeBlasi, and Robert Colgan ran about 49.8s, and that lead group actually ran 50.36s and above. So looks like they may be able to open that gap up here with these 3 trucks running close together there. Maybe the little bit of fresh tires is helping, or, you know, just those 3 together running close enough. You see, that's the hard thing here at Daytona. The straighter of a line you can keep it, the more speed you're going to get. And of course, it's easier with 3 trucks than it is with 8 or 9. And if you've got any with damage, especially on the rear, is going to affect the draft here. When you deal with a big pack of trucks, is, you know, you see 4 really running together here. Trying to see who that is peeking on the outside here. It might be Landon Condra in that 08 machine. No, it's the 55 machine there of Mitch Ellison making a run on the outside. Looks like he's going to challenge his brother Gabriel here for the lead here.
Brothers duking it out here at Daytona in the Delta Camp Thursday night throwdown. Forrest Bourne with a heck of a push on Mitch Ellison. Mitch Ellison trying to show brother how it's done here down the back straightaways. They're now Forrest Bourne's clearing Mitch Ellison, new race leader here at Daytona.
You notice one thing in common with all those trucks, including the 08 machine on the outside here. All of them are on the sneak competition side, so all these guys are working together as a team. This may be a plan getting ready for pit stops here at Daytona, Craig.
That is so crucial to pit with your team, as we saw the earlier pit stops, and it's gonna be it's harder when there's more trucks coming down pit road than 3. Like when you get to like the 9, 10 trucks, all got to come down to pit road speed at 60 miles an hour. Right now they're going 180, so it's tough. But to get it all done and everyone back up to speed, it's really awesome to see here.
Now, here's a question. You see these 14 trucks working together here. If you're in the rest of this pack, do you go with him, or do you trying to work with somebody else and, you know, 1 or 2 other drivers and come up with a different strategy, maybe come a lap later or a lap earlier here, or do you just pit with this huge group?
If I'm Dan Cruz, if I'm Michael Garone, I'm listening to the comms, waiting for them to call a pit, and I'm going to go with them. I'm going to try to beat them at the line, and I'm not going to try to short pit them. It just doesn't happen here at super speedways unless you get a big group of trucks. So I say go with them, Sheffield. Maybe if you go to a 1.5 mile or 2 mile track, I would try to short pit them. But here you want as many friends as you can have.
And as we talked about, Matthew Greathouse, TJ DeBlasi, Robert Colgan pitted together earlier. They are making up a little bit of time here with this 3-truck pack here running close together here. So we'll have to see how this cycles around when the leaders pit in. Any gain of time they can get now is going to help them when there's that front pack pits in. But then the momentum's going to shift back to this pack, especially if you get 7 or 8 trucks that pack together. Pit together and able to stick together, get back on the track. You know, that momentum may shift here. So it's going to be an interesting finish here. We got 19 laps to go here in Daytona. out of 60 laps. Seen, as we just mentioned, that group of 3 trucks already make the pit stop here. These guys have been out since lap number 13 and 14, so roughly working lap number 41. So they need to pit probably, I would say, in the next 7 or 8 laps here, Craig.
Sheffield, it's when to come. It's so hard to get everyone on the same page. That's why I like to say call it out a lap or 2 laps before. Everyone right now checking their black box. They're all checking their fuel, what they have, and right now, Mitch Ellison, he's burning the most fuel out there, leading without the draft. So it's crucial. But like you said, everyone's gonna have to come down pit road as Mitch Ellison leads Forrest Bull and Gabriel Ellison and Landon Condra.
Well, I have a second here. I want to say thanks to all the league sponsors here, title sponsor Delta Camshafts. They've been in business since 1977. They're a second generation owned veteran business, which is near and dear to my heart and many of you out there. They manufacture camshafts for engine rebuilders, retail sales, repair facilities, high performance enthusiasts, automotive restorers, and the individual gearhead. They really take pride in the fact they have the ability to repair almost any camshaft. Doing any camshaft work, looking to do something in the future, definitely look them up, give them a call, see what they've got to say. These guys have been in business a long time. They great specialists there. Definitely worth a call. See if they can help you out. You can check them out on Facebook at Delta Cam or on their website at www.deltacam.com. I also want to thank SimRacer Hub, premier scoring for iRacing as far as leagues, and a lot of drivers are very familiar with it, as well as league admins. Before it was Dan Lisa. They were recently acquired by SimRacer Hub. As we now take a break here, let's take a look as you see the leaders coming into pit lane.
The whole front pack came down pit road after Gabriel Ellison called down pit road. They all come down as pit road is a happening place, Sheffield.
Yeah, you see the whole front pack coming down here. Looks like we're going to have 8 trucks come together here on pit lane. That's going to see where this going to cycle for Matthew Greathouse, TJ DeBlasi, and Robert Colgan. When these guys come out of pit lane, we'll have to see what the gap is. The momentum may have shifted now as these guys are going to get by. As you start to see these guys starting to form and get off pit lane here. So the momentum has shifted here to these 3 trucks that have pitted together. So if these guys can get grouped back up, maybe running back down that pack here. Otherwise, these 3 here, Matthew Greathouse, TJ DeBlasi, and Robert Colgan, may be able to run away with it, Craig.
Absolutely, Sheffield. A job well done by Matthew Greathouse, TJ DeBlasi, and Robert Colgan. They really, short period, I guess you'd say, at Daytona, they got the job done. They're going to be out to a big margin of lead when it's all said and done, as the pack that just pitted are still coming up to speed.
Yeah, you see the first 3 together. Gabriel Ellison, Mitch Ellison, and Forrest Bullen now working together. They're going to cycle around, determine who needs to be in the front here. Anybody's got any front damage, you don't want them out front. These guys are going to have to pack up together now as they are 7 seconds behind that pack in front of them here. They're going to have to get together and push hard to try to catch that pack with 15 laps to go.
Absolutely, and that's just a sign of saying, hey, I would rather push, because when you come to a super speedway, you're either a pusher or you're a leader. So right there, Gabriel Ellison said, hey, brother, can I push you? We might be able to catch them. So we'll see if they can catch Robert Colgan, TJ DeBlasi, and Matthew Greathouse.
Yeah, it looks like Dane Cruz is going to be out here in no man's lane. He's about 2-3 seconds behind that group of 3 we just talked about, Forrest Bull and Gabriel Ellison and Landon. Dane Cruz is going to have Landon Condra behind him. Maybe these 2 can work together, maybe try to catch that pack. The bigger that pack is trying to catch those front 3, the better off they would be here. But as they run right now, Matthew Greathouse is going to be your leader here with 14 laps to go from Daytona. Getting a great push by TJ DeBlasi, and a guy we talked about in the ARCA series. No surprise here tonight. Robert Colgan running in third.
Right now, Matthew Grayhouse, TJ DeBlasi, and Robert Colgan, they're all licking their chops. They're all saying, hey, we're going to have a shot to win this one. Let's just keep it straight. Try to gain as much distance as we can from Mitch Ellison, Gabriel Ellison, and Forrest Bolin. So maybe we can duke it out with 1 to go right now. But we're at 13 laps to go, Sheffield. We're getting in that range where it's almost go time.
Yeah, looking at the lap times last time by, this front pack ran a 48.74. Mitch Ellison, Gabriel Ellison, and Forrest Bullen ran a 48.55. So about 2/10 difference with about 7-second gap. It's gonna have to be a bigger momentum swing here in favor of these guys if they're gonna be able to close that gap.
Absolutely. They're almost hoping for a caution as it's 3 against 3 right now, Sheffield. We did see a lot of cars come down pit road, but then you got to ask yourself, did everyone take tires or did some just top off with gas? And that's where you can really split the difference in times here. But 12 laps to go, Sheffield. It's closing down.
It looks like Dane Cruz and Landon Condra have found each other here. They're going to pack up, but they're going to be about 15 seconds off the leaders, about 9 seconds behind that second pack of 3 here. Then you go back from Landon Condra to Rodney Griffin, who's running in 9th. He is going to be about 21 seconds off the lead, and then it's another 16 seconds back to Torrey Thompson here. So the way things cycled out, these 3 look like they made the pit call at the right time. Were able to make up some time there on the leaders, get a little bit of a gap there that when the pit cycles worked around, it worked out in their benefit, and they came out with about a 6-second lead. Now they've got it about 7.2 here, with 11 coming to 10 to go the next time by.
Yeah, Sheffield, job well done. It's a tough call to pit so early and say, hey, we're going to come down as a 3-man crew and hopefully get the job done. Some drivers might think in the back of mind, it's not going to work, but these guys are really proving me wrong for sure, as they're still out in front coming to 10 to go.
Yeah, and you see these 3 working together. They will continue to work together till about 2 or 1 to go here. Then you're going to push your teammates as long as you can, but when it comes all down to the end, a lot of times you'll see a guy that will push all the way to the end, but usually, everybody's going to try to get that W, and you got to go for it in situations like this. It's only 3 of you up here. Your odds are going to be a little bit better. You don't have that outside line there that you've got to worry about if you're stuck on the inside and you can't move. So, you expect these guys probably to work together another 8 or maybe even 9 laps here, and they're going to have a last lap shootout between these 3.
Sheffield, I like to say the gloves are off when the white flag flies. Teammate or not, family or not, we're racing here at Daytona. It's tough to give up a big run, and right now I think Gabriel Ellison is sitting in a pretty good spot. But don't count out Matthew Grayhouse. It's going to be exciting to see what happens when they come down to the checkered flag.
Yeah, it's been battling back and forth all night, and this is going to come down to that green flag stop here. It's going to be, looks like going to be your deciding factor as they run. Now, granted, a caution does not come out in the next 8 laps here, roughly. The gap is still about 7.5 seconds now from the leader back. Just them working together, being able to maintain that momentum here. See that 78 machine will tuck up. You see him peeking out a little bit, getting a little bit of air there on the front of that truck. Now it looks like the 88 machine is going to be a lap down. He's going to try to attach on the back of this draft. I'm not sure if he's going to be able to catch it, though. If he does, that's going to help these guys as well.
Absolutely. More the merrier. Let's just see if Torrey Thompson can get up to that draft. It's not going to look like that's going to be the case, as that 88 truck is falling back just a little bit more. But still out front, Matthew Grayhouse, TJ DeBlasi, and Robert Colgan.
Yeah, that 88 machine still got a little bit of damage. We saw him spin earlier, catch that outside wall there. As we mentioned, you can run pretty much on the back of something. I don't know, he's kind of keeping up here. Maybe he'll catch enough of this draft. I don't know if maybe they're going to back it up and try to catch him and hook him up, to the back of them, because as we mentioned, another truck would help them here. But these guys, with just the three of them, have done a great job here of being able to time that pit stop and get out front.
Absolutely. And then you go back to the second pack. That's where you find Mitch Ellison, Gabriel Ellison, and Forrest Bolin, as they're really hoping for a caution at this point, Sheffield, to catch up to the top three.
Yeah, that's your fourth, fifth, and sixth place truck. Then you go back to seventh, which is Dane Cruz. Is going to be about 22 seconds off the lead. He's got Landon Condra, and I believe that is the 29 machine there of Michael Garone, who scored a lap down here, trying to group up with these trucks. If you're single, out here, you're, as I call it, no man's land. You got no help on either side of you. You're kind of a sitting duck here. But that's going to be Rodney Griffin behind them in ninth place. Torrey Thompson, we just talked about earlier, just got put a lap down there, try to catch on to that leaders draft, unable to do so. Michael Garone is scored in 11th, and you see him behind this pack of trucks with Rodney Griffin. And then Brandon Zimmerman scored in 12th in the number 20 machine. 13th as they run Cody Dorsey, 14th Douglas Newbinging, Donnie Lyons is 15th, 16th is Curtis Rogers, and it looks like Clinton Sneed is having trouble here with connections here tonight, is showing him in the last place. I don't even think he got a lap in here tonight, Craig.
Yeah, a tough break for both races for Clinton Sneed. It's tough when you have a little bit of connection issues, or the stars really have to align when you come out here and race Sheffield, so it's a heartbreak for sure. But I'm sure we'll see Clinton Sneed do well next week at Richmond, as we always do. That's going to be an exciting race to close out the season here for the Delta Cam Thursday Night Throwdown.
Yeah, and you're talk about championship race here coming into tonight. Your points leader was Dane Cruz by 1 point over Gabriel Ellison. Then Clinton Sneed sitting in third, 28 points behind the leader. Fourth was Brandon Zimmerman, 41 points behind the leader. And fifth was Forrest Bullen, 51 points out of the lead. So, you might see a little shake up here in points here. Gabriel Ellison running ahead of Dane Cruz right now. So you may see that shift a little bit here. Going into the championship race next weekend in Richmond. But right now, this time by, we're sitting at 4 laps to go here. Your leader as they run is Matthew Greathouse in that number 54, getting a great push here. As we saw ever since the pit stop from TJ DeBlasi. Robert Colgan also been strong all night long in the trucks and the ARCA cars, hanging on the third here with teammates here. Looks like so these three guys have really pulled away here. Their last lap by was a 49.24, 49.25 to the next group back at 49.7s. As it looks like that 88 machine was able to catch on the back of this group of Gabriel Ellison, Mitch Ellison, and Forrest Bullen here. See if that helps them any, closing laps, but just 3 to go. Now the gap's about 11 seconds, so barring a caution or anything crazy here, these guys are sitting in the captain's seat here at Daytona.
Absolutely, Sheffield. The time's just going to run out for Mitch Ellison, Gabriel Ellison, Forrest Bolin. It's tough, but that's a race within the race, the pit road, and these guys called it right. Matthew Greyhouse, TJ Bussey, and Robert Colgan. Sheffield, they're rounding turn 3 and 4 right now. They're going to get Popsicle 6 this time by here at Daytona International Speedway.
Yeah, Popsicle 6 going to be in the air, and as we talked about, 2 laps to go, or maybe even down to 1 lap to go here. It's going to be anybody's race here. As you mentioned, team orders, if there's team orders, are out the window. When it comes, especially down that last lap, we're all out here to race to win, and you got to go for it. Try to make that move when you can. Curious, you got 3 trucks together. If TJ DeBlasi makes a move outside, where does Colgan go? Might see 3 wide here at the start-finish line to end this thing.
2 laps to go down the back straightaways. They're running 1, 2, 3. It's Matthew Greyhouse, TJ DeBlasi, and Robert Colgan, Sheffield. And TJ DeBlasi knows if he goes, I don't think Robert Colgan's going to go, as they look like they're more teammates. They're aligned in team colors right now as they're coming out 4 to get that white flag.
Yeah, coming off 4 to get the white flag, 1 to go here from Daytona International Speedway. Your leader coming to the white flag, Matthew Greathouse here. Great race tonight. 1 caution during this race, as it looks like you see a little bit of shuffle there from Colgan, trying to decide what he's been doing. These guys have been practicing these lines all night long for this lap right here. Let's see what happens. There's it coming to the back straightaway here for the final time here at Daytona.
TJ DeBlasi gets outside, and that was a pump fake. I was thinking that was going to happen. TJ DeBlasi really trying to get the side draft on the number 54, Matthew Greathouse. TJ DeBlasi still outside. Now he has help by the 94, so they're going to be battling it out coming out turn number 4.
Colgan deciding where he wants to go here, trying to get a draft here to get a push up to the front. He might try to take it 3 wide here, and he's going to do it. It's going to battle to the line, and but Greathouse is going to come home first. TJ DeBlasi is going to be second. Third, Robert Colgan. I mean, these guys gave it everything they had there. The last lap battle to the end. Looks like Gabriel Ellison is going to be scored 4th. 5th is going to be Forrest Bullen. 6th is going to be Mitch Ellison here. Go back, take a look here. You see the 54 machine. A little bit of damage there, but able to come across the line as your winner here. You know, records or checkers, Craig?
Records or checkers. The number 54, Matthew Greathouse, is your winner tonight, Sheffield. A fun finish that was for those 3 trucks. Man, it's you go, you don't go. It all came down the wire. Beating and bang, real coming to the door, but Matthew Greathouse gets the job done.
Yeah, we're going to try to see if we can get a quick look back here at that finish as they come across the line here. Try to go back a little bit here. Didn't quite cue it. Let me see if I can go back just a little bit more. Let's go up to the front. It's all right. I'm trying to go back and get a quick look for the viewers again at home. I'll see if I can do that here, but I'm going to take a look live here, as I'm sure Matthew Greathouse is going to be celebrating here, coming to the checkered line, the start-finish line. You would see him do his donuts here. Well-deserved victory here. Those 3 guys really put it together during that pit stop and, you know, battled it out right there at the last lap, kind of like we expected.
The race within the race paid off today for Matthew Greathouse and the boys in the 54 Toyota camp as he's burning it down here at Daytona International Speedway, Sheffield. What a fun one tonight to round out race number 9 out of 10.
Yeah, and you know, nothing short of what we expected here with the DeltaCam.com presents Thursday Night Throwdown Truck Series. Always great racing, always entertaining. These guys always deliver week after week. Championship next week in Richmond. Really looking forward to that, but also hate that it's the end of the season as well. So we're going to take a quick commercial break. We'll be right back here on Evolution Racing Network with your top 3 interviews and your official results here from Daytona International Speedway.
Folds of honor above my garage 13 years ago. Because 90% of spouses and children of killed or disabled U.S. service members receive no federal education assistance. Our mission has never wavered. We honor their sacrifices by educating their legacy.
Thank you for supporting the Folds of Honor.
Thank you for supporting the Fold of Honor.
Thanks to you, I will be a construction engineer.
An elementary school teacher.
Thank you for helping me fulfill my dream of going to med school.
We're able to award these scholarships because patriots like you refuse to turn your back on the cost of freedom. Join the Folds of Honor Squadron today. Your $13 a month will help ensure we never turn military families away. This is your call to duty.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you for supporting the Folds of Honor.
Thanks to people like you, I know my dad is not forgotten.
To build a new website or redesign your existing site, you have 2 options. You can start by learning HTML, CSS, JavaScript, SEO, SQL, CMS, well, you get the idea. Or you can be smarter and look for someone who is a professional in web design like Sneed Competition Design. We are experienced in building quality websites for our clients. We always start with strategy and planning to build a clear vision about what you need. Your website will then be passed on to the design and development phase, where we will ensure that you get a fully responsive design that is easy to use regardless of any device using the latest tools in web development. Contact us today, and let's talk about accelerating your business to the next level by creating a complete online solution.
All right, race fans, welcome back to Daytona here for the conclusion of DeltaCam.com presents Thursday night Throwdown Truck Series. Exciting race. Pit strategy really came into play, and that was pretty much the deciding factor here tonight, Craig.
Absolutely, Sheffield. It was a race within the race. Matthew Greathouse, TJ DeBlasi, and Robert Colgan all pitted 10 laps before the other pack. The questions were in the air, but they definitely answered coming home 1, 2, 3. Let's see if we can go down on pit road and talk to our third place finisher, Robert Colgan.
Hey, Robert, this is Michael. I missed him here. Hold on just a second. Hey, Robert, this is Michael and Craig up in the booth. You got a copy?
Yes, sir.
Well, great finish here tonight. You come home third. Great race here tonight overall. Saw you making great moves in the ARCA series. You were strong all night long in both here. Excuse me, sorry. That pit stop here tonight was the instrumental key here. We noticed you and your Greathouse teammates there all coming in together in a great battle at the end there. How was the truck out there tonight, and how did y'all determine to make that short pit there?
Well, me and TJ, we were up top and talking to Greathouse, and Matt Greathouse was the one that actually came up with the pit strategy, because I'd be too dumb to figure it out. And he let us back in there on the inside, and we decided to go ahead and pit early, because we knew all three of us were, if we all three get together, we were faster than the field, and it showed out there. So yeah, good call from Greathouse, and I was just back there cruising in third, and we decided to shoot it out there for the last lap.
Well, you were fast all night, both, like I said, both in the ARCA series and the trucks here. And we watched y'all make that pit stop, and we're watching the times there, and y'all were actually, you had that lead pack behind you of 8 or 9 trucks, and y'all were actually able to gap them. And we knew then that it was going to come down that strategy. And when they went into pits, it gave y'all a good 6-second lead there, and y'all were able to pull away. So this is a great finish here. A third place finish here tonight at Daytona is like a win. And it was too short of where you wanted to eventually be, but that's always a great night at Daytona. But shifting gears next week, Richmond championship season, in championship race. How do you feel about Richmond?
Pretty good. I like short track racing. It just all comes down to the strategy and all that stuff, but just keeping your car clean, staying out of trouble, pretty much like Daytona. But got to know when to be aggressive there and when to make moves. So I haven't raced a whole lot of Richmond in the trucks. I've done it in ARCA, ran all right. So we'll see what it brings. Just happy with tonight. Happy to see Greathouse win in the other Shitty Coolers truck.
Well, good run again tonight. Right now, we're going to give you the microphone. Let you give any shout-outs, thank yous to friends, family, any sponsors watching. The microphone's all yours, Robert.
Just thanks to TJ and Matt. Like I said, good call from Matt. I think we worked really well together. Matt was the brains behind the pit strategy, and TJ, he was doing a great job pushing, and I was just back there for moral support, hanging out with them. So good call on them guys.
Well, I think you're selling yourself short here. You're running with those guys, really helped pushing them there. Great run for you tonight. Great third place finish, and hopefully get a chance to talk to you again there soon, Robert.
Yep, thank you. I enjoy it. And thanks for Clinton and all the other guys that put it on, because it's not easy putting a league and all that stuff together. They got a good thing going. So.
Oh yeah, we say that week after week. Always great watching the racing. A lot of respect out there. You guys do an excellent job, and I look forward to it every week. But I hope you have a great evening, and hopefully, like I said, we get a chance to talk to you again next week.
I'll see you guys next week. Thanks.
Have a good one. Well, you heard it there first, Craig. You know, he said Matthew's pit strategy there really paid off.
Yeah, it did. And Robert Colgan, you know, he says that he's just back there for moral support, and sometimes you need that. But I think, you know, he is selling himself a little short, Sheffield. He was doing a good job back there, pushing, making them the faster group on the track. Good finish for the number 94 camp there, Robert Colgan. But right now, let's see if we can catch the second place finisher, TJ DeBlasi. TJ, this is Craig Burns and Michael Sheffield up in the booth. You got a copy?
Yes, sir. How's it going, boys?
It's going pretty good. Not as good as you, coming home in second place tonight. A pit strategy paid off well to get the podium spot tonight. Coming down to the white flag down the back straightaway, Robert Colgan kind of put a pump fake on you. You went for it. Coming out turn number 4, you had the nose for the lead over Matthew Grayhouse. What was going through your mind coming down the checker flag?
Oh, man. Yeah, he kind of deterred my plan there. I was going to kind of back it up a little bit into 3 and get a big run, and then off of 4, I was going to try to launch like a rocket to the outside of him. But once I saw RJ, or Robert Colgan, go to the outside off of 2, I couldn't let him get to the outside of me. I figured he'd be able to side draft me all the way down the back stretch, and then I'd be pinned in. So I had to make my move then. He kind of forced me into it.
Absolutely so close, TJ, tonight, both in trucks and ARCAs. You showed strong. You were a good pusher out there all night long. That's what we love to see here on the ERN Network. Going on to next week in Richmond, the season finale. How are you feeling out there in Richmond, Virginia?
I think it'll be fun. It'll be good. And it's pretty similar to Iowa. I love that track, so I'm looking forward to it.
Cool, and we will be cheering you on as we always do, TJ. Before we let you go tonight and celebrate your second place podium finish, anyone you'd like to thank, shout out, say I love you?
Yeah, I'll give a shout out to Matt Greathouse, the winner there. He, in practice, the 3 of us ran together and we were pretty damn fast, just 3 of us. So it was his idea to kind of short pit everybody and take less fuel and stay out together and get away from the pack. And I mean, it showed in the lap times. We were about a half second faster than the pack. And then, even coming to the checkered, I was teasing him a little bit that he had to wreck me to win because I felt like I had a nose on him. But I went back and looked at the replay and it was all net code. He never touched me. So I think if the net code didn't happen and we were just both side drafting each other, it would have been a lot tighter and wouldn't have been 3 wrecked race cars.
Yeah, we really hate to see that code here on iRacing Network. It happens. It's a black cloud here, but it is what it is.
Yeah, man. I know he didn't mean to wreck me. He didn't even touch me. So it was awesome finish. He deserved to win that race. I mean, his strategy worked, so it was his to go.
Absolutely. Well, TJ, we're going to let you go. We're excited to see you next week there at Richmond.
Yep, have a good one, guys.
There you go. There's your second place finisher here, TJ DeBlasi, that you mentioned, strong all night long there. So the little net code, we all deal with it here. It's part of the nature of the beast here in iRacing. You don't like it, but at the end of the day, it is what it is. Things like that happen. We all get accustomed to it, Craig.
Yeah, it's very tough. It is the black cloud of iRacing, because you think that you can run so close to someone, and then there's just that little gap of net code, and it can ruin a race really quick. But you know what? It came down at the finish. You can't hang your head too hard on a second place finish. So I'm expecting him to go out at Richmond and get the job done. But let's see if we can talk to our race winner, the mastermind behind the plan, Mr. Matthew Grayhouse.
Hey, Matt, this is Michael and Craig up in the booth. You got a copy?
Yeah, boys, what's up?
Well, the man with the plan, we get a chance to talk to here in Victory Lane. Great win here tonight. It came down to the line. pit strategy really played huge in here tonight. And, you know, we just talked to Robert and TJ, and they said, you know, y'all ran really well in practice. You came with a plan to pit when y'all did. Really paid off. The three trucks, y'all three trucks together, were just, we were watching the time y'all were able to walk away from that pack of, you know, 7 or 8 trucks there after you pitted, and then just gave you the advantage of about 6 seconds by the time they came out of the pits. Y'all were just able to walk away. How'd the truck feel, and, you know, what were you thinking, you know, coming in tonight, and what was your mindset there on the white flag lap?
Well, I mean, to be honest with you, I'm not the greatest super speedway racer. I'm not a good pusher. You know, it was good that I was out front for that last stint there, so we could pull away. But you know, in practice, like 3, 4, 5 minutes before practice was over, we jumped out there in a 3 truck run, and we were like flying. We were hauling the mail, and you know, I was thinking, you know, if we could short pit those guys and just run our line, you know, and all 3 of us bunched together and put down some bad fast laps, you know, we might be able to beat them off, get ahead of them through their pit strategy. And I was not expecting to be, you know, as far ahead as we were, so it was actually pretty cool. But yeah, it's fun. That last lap battle was crazy. Tommy told me as net code. I was just trying to side draft and make it to the line first. It's cool to win at Daytona. It's pretty wild, man.
Well, you know, we talk about it, you know, me and Craig both racing, you know, you always push each other. When it comes down to that white flag, you know, everybody's in the mindset they're here to win, you know, and you know, things happen like that on the last lap. You know, netcode is Craig mentioned, is like the black cloud of our racing. We all deal with it. We all have to learn, you know, to accept it. But, you know, that pit strategy really paid off tonight. Great call for you there. Y'all really did a great job tonight working together and able to just basically make the race between y'all 3 there at the finish. So congratulations on the win again. But before we let you go celebrate a little bit more, we'll give you the microphone here and let you give any shout outs, thank yous, love yous to friends, family, or sponsors. The microphone's all yours.
Well, first of all, thank you, Michael and Craig, for commentating. I go back and listen to the races. You guys do a fantastic job, and I really appreciate that. And because I like to go back and learn, you know, things I could get better at, or you know, things I might have done wrong, and so it's good for me to go back and watch those. And you guys do a great job. I'd like to shout out TJ and Robert. Our strategy was just phenomenal tonight. And you guys still there?
Yep, still here. We got you.
Okay, sorry about that. But yeah, so it's just you know, it's great to win. I mean, I've been fairly competitive, like at Dover, had a good run, and yeah, I'll just shout out my sponsor, Shitty Coolers. They're not really my sponsor, but I love the cooler, and maybe they'll sponsor me someday. That'd be kind of cool. So.
Well, you gave them a little bit of free advertising there, so you never know. You may hear from, you know, we appreciate the kind words there. This is one thing. We enjoy broadcasting this every week. Y'all do an excellent job week in, week out. Always great racing, you know, and you learn stuff. Guess what? I learned something tonight about Daytona and short pitting. So, you know, anybody watching out there, I'm sure they learned a couple of things here. So it throws an extra strategy in my book as well. And I, you know, really enjoyed the race here tonight. Great call. Get yourself to victory lane again here on the DeltaCam.com presents Thursday Night Throwdown Truck Series. Look forward to maybe talking to you again next week at Richmond. Well, you heard it there first. You know, great call on strategy. They got together and practiced, Greg, and figured out it works.
Yeah, and you know, you bring up a good point. The short pitting at Daytona, I never thought in a million years it'd work. They proved it wrong. Now I'm gonna be tormenting you about it. Hey, we should short pit. But no, great win tonight by Matthew Grayhouse, the number 54, coming up with a plan. It's really hard to, you know, say, hey guys, follow my lead, but they did. They made it work, Sheffield, and now we're gonna go look at the grid here tonight from the Delta Cam Thursday Night Throwdown from Daytona.
Yeah, I can hear you in the radio actually right now, and you won't say, hey, short pit. You remember that deltacam.com Thursday Night Throwdown truck series at Daytona, that strategy? Let's do that. And I'll know the cue from there, but, looking at tonight's race results here, official results here from Daytona International Speedway. Your winner we just interviewed with great strategy here along it was Matthew Greathouse. TJ DeBlasi coming in second. And third in that lead pack there, Robert Colgan, strong in the ARCA and the truck series here tonight. In the number 94 machine coming up third. Fourth, Gabriel Ellison ran strong up front all night long. On the 27 machine, Forrest Bullen in the number 2 coming home fifth. Sixth is Mitch Ellison in the number 55. Seventh is Dane Cruz in the number 46 machine. Coming home eighth, Landon Condra in the 08 machine. Coming home ninth, Rodney Griffin in the number 97 machine.
Top 10 was the number 88, Torrey Thompson. 11th is the 20th, Brian Zimmerman. 12th, the 29, Michael Garone. 13th, the number 84, Cody Dorsey. 14th, Douglas Newbane. 15th, Donnie Lyons. 16th, Curtis Rogers. And a starting part, Clinton Sneed. Tough break for him. Internet connections issues all night long. So I'm excited to see him next week at Richmond, Sheffield. But that is your final order here from the Delta Cam Thursday Night Throwdown from Daytona.
Man, once again, shout out here to all our sponsors here at Delta Cam. We really appreciate you bringing this league to us every week, as well as Sim Racer Hub and Sneed Competition Designs. Definitely check those guys out. They do a lot for the service and for the racers here. They show their support week in and week out, and we love having them. Once again, as always, a great race here on the deltacam.com presents Thursday Night Throwdown, both ARCA and truck race. Always exciting. Always looking forward to these races. Not seeing many leagues out there with the amount of respect that these guys have for each other. And, you see tonight the teamwork these guys show with each other and the patience here, Craig. So your final thoughts here leaving Daytona?
It was a blast. I can't wait to get to Richmond next week. A little short track action under the lights. Sparks are going to be flying. The truck series will go live at about 9:30 Eastern. So stick around for us then and check us out.
I also want to say thanks to our broadcast sponsors there, Butt Kicker and Folds of Honor. We appreciate your continued support and sticking with us through our broadcast here. We really appreciate it and what you do for the community. But for Craig Burns, this is Michael Sheffield. Until next time, we'll catch you here on Evolution Racing Network.
Cheers, boys.